Hello Home Slices, it's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting, and today I am coming to you looking naked, but I'm not naked. We're gonna jump right into the season 3 reunion, part 2 for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Like I said last week, the show last week in particular was painstaking to watch. It was just like watching a bunch of high school kids argue over BS, but whatever. Anyways, we start off where we left off, where Hazel walked, entered stage right and confronted Masika, and I felt like Masika was a little too pressed about the situation. I mean, Masika and Moniece can throw shade with the best of them, but when they're actually confronted by the people who throw shade, their tendency to get up and leave bothers me a little bit. To me, it seems like they can't really stand in their own mess and, stand behind the things that they said. And, Hazel E can't breathe my air. And she wants to appear like she's above it. But to me, it's like she doesn't want to face it. So that's what I think about, Masika and Moniece leaving when, the situation or the topic gets tough or something that they don't want to talk about anymore. It's very childish to me. They can talk a lot of mess, and then when they're confronted about it, just feel like they can get up and leave. But whatever. Hazel E says she came out of retirement so she could check Masika. And as Masika is leaving, they talk about burning vaginas and how Masika is not important. And, Moniece realized, I thought it was very adult. Moniece has an adult moment where she realized that it would be hypocritical of Moniece to judge Hazel E about what Hazel E said about Masika's daughter when she did the very same thing about Brandy and Max's son. So, she really didn't want to comment on it. But what I will say is that Hazel E's comment was in self-defense. So Masika started it. And Hazel E kind of finished it. And like I said, Masika mistook Hazel E's insult about Masika sleeping around with a bunch of guys to be an insult towards her daughter, which really wasn't true. She's talking about you, not your kid. Get over it. Anyways, Hazel E says, I have never met him. And it's like a real thing in the music industry. You don't have to meet somebody to have a record with them. It was a track he did a while ago before he developed his current style. And that's why he sounds different on the song. And that's probably why Fetty Wap did not remember. But the insults were going back and forth, and Masika was saying that, just like your body is numb, I can't feel all these insults that you're throwing at me. And is the thing I like about Hazel is that, she stands in her stuff, and she, confronted Masika, but she's not one of the people like Nikki who will be like, what plastic surgery? Hazel is very, takes a lot of ownership about the things that she has done to her body. And that's the type of people, that are, good to deal with because they know what they have done. They're okay with what they're done and they don't care. So Masika's insults didn't really mean that much to Hazel because Hazel knows how much work she's had done. And Hazel said that Masika had made up a story about how last year Hazel had lied about the accident in Dubai and created an excuse to get a nose job. And I mean, if somebody is as okay with their plastic surgery as Hazel E, there's no reason to make up a lie about that. But did Masika apologize for the comment about Brandy and Max's son needing braces in the future? Because if not, there really are no grounds for Hazel E to take back her comment about Masika's daughter, even though the comment wasn't about Masika's daughter, but whatever. So next we talk about Safari's accent, and he was saying, people are just stupid about the accent and how he turns it on and off. Rosa gave him props and she was like, I wish I could turn my accent on and off. Probably because sometimes people have a problem understanding her. But then he got mad disrespectful and he was like, you gotta give me my props. And I don't know what happened to him. Like, he has a little, switch that flips to turn on his accent. And then he has a little switch that flips to turn him into a B word. I don't know. The B word switch went off. And Rosa was like, you don't even reach for your wallet whenever you take, you know, whenever you took Nikki out to go to dinner and you're being mad disrespectful right now. And I didn't understand that. He said something very nasty and rude to her. And even the host, Nina, was like, okay, she's still a woman. You gotta chill out with that. I couldn't make out whatever he said. So if y'all know, y'all can put it in the comments. But next we talk about all the guys. We talk about the experiment that happened when Ray J was giving advice to Safari. And Safari just kind of, the B word switch just went off. And he was like, you know what, Rosa, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me, I guess. And, you know, he apologized, and Rosa rehashed it just a little bit, but she accepted his apology. And Nina asked about if it was awkward about Safari asking for advice regarding Nikki. And he was like, no, I just didn't want him to get into something with Nikki without, you know, knowing what the deal was. And he was like, you know, it was some good sauce. And I thought he was actually paying Nikki a compliment. And, you know, they kind of had this reaction like, oh, he's paying her a compliment. But he was like, there's good sauce all over, you know, Los Angeles. And Nikki just kind of took it a little too far and was like, you know, I would be mad if I lost me too. And, you know, Fizz just was not here for Nikki at all during the reunion. And Fizz was like, I can build a girl, and you know, I can build anybody that, you know, that I want. Basically saying that that Nikki is just different pieces put together. And Nikki was like, oh, that's cool because she'd be mine too. And I was like, oh, look at Nikki finally, you know, snapping back properly. But Fizz was like, you know, I talk about things whenever I have interviews. I talk about things that I have talent on. And I was like, talent? Yeah. So he's still talking about, you know, people are only interested with regarding who Nikki is sleeping with. And it just really escalated quickly. Like, it was terrible. And next we talk about Willie Shonda and Kyrak, and I'm so over Kyrak, and the whole audience was too. I was very happy to see that, you know, nobody's here for the side chick this year. And initially, throughout the whole season, I thought that Willie was lying about the one time that he was intimate with Kyrak. But after watching this, I'm kind of leaning towards the Willie side. He's not that great an actor, but the way that he was acting towards Kaisha kind of, to me, said that Kaisha took things out of context and thought that what they had was real as opposed to him just, you know, getting some. So, you know, Shonda says that she was blindsided, and that Willie says that Kaisha was a friend of an ex, and that whenever, I guess, his friend wanted to sleep around, that Willie would be the wingman. And so, you know, they bring out Kaisha, and and Willie pulls Amari and switches sides, like when he's on the Mari show, and switches the sides of the room. And I didn't like that ponytail that Kaisha had on. Willie was playing her, which he made, you know, clear, and she kind of deserved it. She, you know, was a side chick, and it was yucky. What I didn't know is that she was married, and that when she claimed to be pregnant, the baby could have been her husband's baby. So after I learned that she was married, I was like, I don't believe her no more. But I don't know why Jason involved himself in that and how he got a hold of these text messages or whatever. But he was like, oh, she said this and he said that or whatever. And Shonda was more respectful, and she was saying, you know, my issue's not necessarily with you, it's with Willie, because Willie is the one who's in a committed relationship with me. But your approach was very disrespectful. I can't mess with that right now. I can't mess with that at all. The audience was not here for it. They were ready for her to get off the stage. And like I said, I'm a little bit more inclined to believe Willie about the nature of his relationship with Kaisha, because she now appears to be a little delusional. a little bit. So next we have Brandy, Max, and Masika talk about the little incident that went down at the studio session. And Max kind of backs off of Masika, which I thought was a little interesting. But, you know, Max said he's with somebody that, you know, comes in and kamikaze sessions all the time. And that's not really something that he can control. And, Brandy says that she wasn't worried about Masika coming on to Max, is that Brandy, like I said, is like the rest of these reality show people, and they have their friends and they take their friends' issues with somebody and make them their own, and they create problems where there are none. And that's Brandy's problem. There's a difference between loyalty and being a guard dog, and Brandy is being a guard dog. But whatever. And she was like, you know, because I'm so loyal and because I'm so real, I'm not just going to be fake and, you know, fake the funk when it comes to hanging around or being okay with my husband being around people that I don't really care for. And Max was like, you know, there's a difference between being fake and professional. And, I don't think Brandy was really listening to him, but it did make sense. You need to learn to be professional and learn to be cordial with people, especially when there's money and business involved. And Brandy just doesn't really understand that when it comes to Max. And so here Moniece is trying to spill more tea that's none of her business, claiming that Max, you know, had a baby on her. And Max is saying there's no evidence of that. So they didn't dwell on that long. But Moniece should have just stayed out of it. I mean, she's a person who says that she doesn't really care about Brandy or Max either way, but then she jumps in and offers more tea that's not, you know, hers to spill. So, whatever. I don't necessarily believe it, but anyways, Brandy says that she's very intellectual and she's also very loyal, so that's where, you know, it came from. But Brandy says name dropping, and I don't care. I mean, the whole Whitney Houston thing, I believe that. The whole Beyonce thing, I don't really care. I don't care. But anyways, we get to like the steak and potatoes where it's Lyrica and Pam and A1. And I really believe that these reunions cause people to rehash things, and they, you know, rip open healing wounds, things that people thought that they were over, and then when you rehash it at the reunion, it becomes an open wound again. But I think they did a real good job of keeping their cool and maintaining the peace in their relationship throughout their whole session. Was Pam wearing long johns? Is that what they're called? The pajamas, that little footy pajamas that are all red, and they have like a little unbuttoned thing in the back, so you don't have to take the whole outfit off to go to the bathroom. That's what it looked like Pam was wearing. And I really thought that, you know, Mama Lyrica would at least get a new wig for the reunion, but apparently it wasn't that important. So they all agreed essentially that Big Lyrica was the problem, but Big Lyrica said that she was only reacting to what Little Lyrica told her about Pam. And that's the thing. When you have problems in your home or your relationship and you tell your family about them, and you're speaking out of frustration, you can create problems. Like I said, you can create problems where there are no problems. And you know, Big Lyrica, even though she was looking out for Little Lyrica, I think she went about it the wrong way. And like I said, she made her daughter's issues her own when she just really should have gotten to know Pam on her own terms. And Little Lyrica says she just needs her mom to take a few steps back and, you know, to realize that she's starting a new life for her husband. And Safari said that he thought that A1 giving Big Lyrica a waist trainer was considerate. It was not considerate, but it was very funny. And apparently we found out that A1 had lipo at the same time that Lyrica got a boob job, and he claims that it was because Lyrica was scared of getting a boob job, and he was like, well, I'll get lipo with you, which is cute. But he was saying, you know, I knew we were going to be on this show and I couldn't be looking the way I was looking. I would have never known that A1 got lipo. I didn't know that was something that men really got per se. But Big Lyrica outed him on that, and she kind of told his business, but he didn't mind necessarily, which was good. Next we talk about Tiara, who had the worst storyline. No, the second to last worst storyline, because Nia had no storyline. But we talk about Tiara and how her trial is pushed back. She's not taking a plea because she didn't do anything. And then now she is beyond scared straight. She does not want to go to jail. So Ray J claims that he didn't see her having this alcohol problem. And I am under the impression that Tiara got the alcohol problem from the issues that she was having with Ray J and Princess. That she started turning up and drinking more often because she was depressed about the state of her life and the state of her relationship with Ray J and the fact that Ray J was moving on and getting married to like her arch nemesis. So whatever. So next at the end, we see Fizz kind of apologize to Max. Max didn't seem very receptive to it, but Fizz was saying, you know, I love you, Max. Trying to resolve the little, you know, issue they had in part 1 of the reunion and saying, you know, that as black men, we got to stand together, which is great. And, Nia was like, you know, the thing that I hope for our castmates is that we can grow and be better and get along. And I'm like, being a castmate means that you are part of the cast and you are not. You are an accessory to the cast. You are an extra body. You are an extra. You're an extra in this show. You don't have a storyline. You're an accessory to everybody else's storyline. So castmate is not an accurate term. But thanks you guys for watching. I am glad that this season is over. I am done with everyone on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I don't know if I'll be reviewing Love and Hip Hop New York now that Real Housewives of Atlanta is on. Having 2 shows to review on Sunday and 1 show to review on Monday is a little bit much for me. So I don't know if I'll be reviewing Love and Hip Hop New York, but if it's interesting enough, I might give it a try. Thank you guys for watching. I have other reviews like Real Housewives of Atlanta and The Walking Dead. I also do videos regarding weight loss and relationships, so be on the lookout for those. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out, home slices.